welcome. Congratulations on your pregnancy. Today we will be going through some first trimester foundational movements. All you will need for today's session is a stretching mat or a comfortable mat at home, and if you have a stretchy band handy, we might also use that a little bit later on. We're going to get started laying down on our back. So throughout pregnancy, you will want to start to strengthen your pelvic floor muscles. So your pelvic floor muscles sit like a hammock on the underneath side of the pelvis, and they're what support our pelvic organs and pull up. Now, as the baby comes through the pelvic canal, the pelvic floor stretch, so it's important that we look after them throughout pregnancy and beyond, because that helps support our pelvic organs in the weight of the bub, and it also helps us bounce back a little bit quicker after the birth of the baby. So laying down on your back, we're going to practice some pelvic floor activations. So when you're doing a pelvic floor contraction, it's like you're drawing a tampon up into the vagina. So you shouldn't feel a heave happening through your abdominals, because your pelvic floor sit where that pubic bone is and they pull a little bit deeper. So we're going to have a go at a couple of different activations and just move along, have a go as you can, using my voice to guide you. Be patient with yourself. It's not always a skill that you master straight away. Alright. So we're going to have 2 nice big cleansing breaths in and out. On your next breath out, I want you thinking about drawing that tampon up into the vagina. As you exhale, squeezing around the pelvic floor, trying to draw that tampon up. Inhale, release. Exhale, draw up. Exhale, draw up. Inhale, release. Exhale, drawing up. Inhale, release. Exhale, drawing up through the pelvic floor. Now, as you inhale, I want you to keep drawing up through the pelvic floor. Exhale, keep the pelvic floor on still. On your next inhale, you're going to release. Exhale, pulling up through pelvic floor. Inhale, hold the pelvic floor. Exhale, keep holding. Inhale, release. And again. Exhale, lift through pelvic floor. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hold again. Inhale, keep holding. Exhale, keep holding. And release on the inhale. I'm going to do one more like that with a longer hold. Exhale, lift up. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hold. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hold. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hold. And release. Good job. We're now going to start to add on to that pelvic floor contraction. So you're going to exhale to draw the pelvic floor up. And then you're going to drop your knees from side to side. So I'm keeping the pelvic floor lifted and engaged as I take my knees from side to side. Now, as I do this, I'm imagining that my hips are staying facing the ceiling. So there's 2 headlights on my hip bones,
and my hip bones are staying dead center on the ceiling as I drop my knees out to the side. My whole pelvis isn't like rolling over, so I'm maintaining that pelvic floor control. If at any point you notice that your pelvic floor falls away, that's totally fine. You may not have as much endurance in it as I do at this stage. So when you notice that that happens, relax and just feel that pelvic floor engage. It's equally important that you're able to feel your pelvic floor relax as it is that you can feel your pelvic floor engage. And that's why you'll always see me cueing you to do both. So let's do a couple together. Let's inhale to prepare. Exhale, draw the pelvic floor up. Inhale, let's start moving those knees. Keep the pelvic floor on. That's one. Keep going. Inhale. Keep the pelvic floor engaged. That's two. One more. Inhale. Keep it on if you can. And relax your pelvic floor. So we're going to try and hold for 3 breaths so we can do 3 leg movements from side to side. Let's do again. Exhale, activate. Keep checking, is your pelvic floor still engaged? Last breath in and out. And relax your pelvic floor. Great job. From here, we're coming over onto our hands and our knees. So this is a position that you'll get quite familiar with throughout pregnancy, as it's safe through all trimesters. What we're going to start with here is just working on activating our pelvic floor in this position. So exactly the same way as we did before. Inhale to prepare. As we exhale, we're going to lift up through the pelvic floor, drawing that tampon up into the vagina. Exhale as we draw up, and then inhale as we release. Exhale to activate. Inhale, release. Exhale to activate. Inhale, release. Good job. Now, when it comes to your hand span for this one, I do like for you to try and have a nice wide hand span as you place your hands onto the ground with nice straight arms, and your hands are stacked under your shoulders, as this helps to build the strength throughout the hand, forearm, arm and shoulder. Throughout pregnancy, you can get some sore wrists, and if that starts to develop for you, you'd go more into a neutral fist so that you're still working on your strengthening. So where we're headed in this 4-point kneeling position is we want to do what's called a Superman. So inhale to prepare. Exhale, activate your pelvic floor. You want to extend the opposite arm with the opposite leg. Inhale, come back down. Exhale, activate. Keep that pelvic floor on as you inhale, come back to center. Exhale, swap sides. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, swap sides. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, swap sides. Inhale, back to center. Now I'll just give you a moment to fully relax that pelvic floor. All right, let's reactivate. So inhale to prepare. Exhale to activate. Exhale to activate. Extend the legs. Inhale, come down. Exhale, extend. Inhale, come down. Exhale, extend. Inhale, come down. Relax your pelvic floor. Have a breather. On our next one, we're going to focus a little bit more on our alignment of the hips. So sometimes when we do Supermans, instead of the line staying nice and straight at the hip, what can happen is we dump down this supporting hip, and it kind of loses alignment and pushes out to the side a little bit. So using that pelvic floor, I want you to try and keep that alignment from the shoulder down towards the hip as you're moving from side to side. And this is going to help work on your deep hip and pelvic control, so that as you move through the pregnancy, you maintain control around those deeper stabilizers. I'm sure you've heard that relaxin, one of the hormones, makes your hips stretchy and loose so that you can birth a baby at your pelvis. But it's also, important that you maintain the strength around those stabilizers to avoid any pain in the later stages of pregnancy. All right, in this position, so exactly the same position that you're already in, we're going to work on shoulder blade isolation. So you can forget your pelvic floor for now. We're going to move the focus up to the shoulders. So here you want to focus on squeezing your shoulder blades together and broadening your shoulder blades apart. So one of the areas where a lot of change can happen during pregnancy is around posture, because as the baby grows, it changes and it pulls on your shoulders. So throughout our pregnancy, one of the things we like to focus on is supporting shoulder and back strength to support posture throughout pregnancy and also beyond the birth and into early motherhood. From here, we're going to go into a cat-cow stretch, which you've probably seen before. You'll tuck your tailbone under, curl through your back, drop your head, and then poking your tailbone out, dropping down through your belly, lifting your chest, lifting your head. Inhale, tuck the tailbone under, curl the back, drop the head. Exhale, poke the tailbone, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the head. Inhale to tuck. Exhale to extend. Inhale to flex. Exhale to extend. 3 more. You're doing a great job. All right. Given that it's the early stages of pregnancy, we can still do a little bit of arm loading and push-ups in this position. It's completely safe, but we're just going to stay on our knees. So I want you to take your hands wider than the mat with that nice wide hand span that we talked about earlier. And this time you're going to keep your bottom in the air as you do your push-ups. So inhale as you take your body weight down, your elbows will track out to the side. Exhale, pushing up through. Inhale, coming down. Exhale, pushing through. So this is a nice way to keep those shoulders and arms building strength. When you go into your push-up, you want to try and keep your chest nice and open. So sometimes you'll see people, and as they go into their push-up position, they can stay rather rounded through their chest. But I want you to be as open through your chest as you can be, and really thinking about engaging your shoulder blades and squeezing them together when you're in your lower levels, as this is going to help to strengthen through the back. This next stretch that we're going through is my all-time favorite stretch for everybody to do. I definitely do this stretch every day, and it's also a good one to be done throughout pregnancy. So it's called the side lying windmill stretch. Having a lie down onto your side with your hand underneath your head to support it, and your top leg is going around the front of the bottom leg. So this is going to anchor our hips. Now, as pregnancy goes along, you can actually find it, you may find it uncomfortable to have your knee on the mat. And if that's the case, just prop yourself up onto a little bolster. But during the first trimester, it's normally okay to rest it on the ground. Your other alternative option is to stack your legs. All right. So from here, where you want to watch is my rib cage and what my rib cage is doing. So I'm going to think about lengthening my rib cage. Then I'm thinking about rotating my rib cage and opening all the way up. Then I come back, I stay lengthening, and then I start to close. Watch my rib cage, I'm lengthening, I'm maintaining my length, and I'm opening, and I'm closing back down. Now it's really common in clinic that I see this. I see someone take their arm for a rainbow, but they're not doing anything to their torso. And what happens here is it puts more tension on the shoulder, which is not what we're after. So this entire movement is really about the torso rotating, the rib cage rotating. So you want to lengthen that rib cage long and twist the rib cage around as far as you can go and back. You do not have to force yourself to get a full 180 degrees if you don't have that range. You're just working within your available limits. Let's do 2 more. Last one. And swapping sides. So on the other side, getting yourself set up so that your head's supported and your knees in front or on a bolster or knees are stacked. You're lengthening through the rib cage and twisting to open and back. Lengthen, 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 rotate, rotate. Keep lengthening and return. Lengthen, twist, lengthen, close. So it's really about how much rotation you can get through the rib cage. This is definitely a stretch I encourage you to remember and become a big fan of, and to do this one for the rest of your life. It's a really, really fantastic stretch for the whole body. Let's do 2 more. Last one. So we're not going through anything too heavy today. It's more just starting to learn some of the areas that we want to look after throughout that first trimester of pregnancy. So we're working on getting our pelvic health and starting to awaken through our pelvic floor so that we're getting a head start, and working on our upper body posture so that as bub grows and pulls forward, that's not then having a counter reaction on our posture and making us stoop and putting more pressure on our neck and our shoulders. We're coming up into standing for the next exercise. If you have a resistance band, you can use one. Otherwise, it's also useful to do it body weight, or you could use a couple of water bottles or light hand weights if you have them available. So I'll demo a couple of different options. All right, so we've got a band or we've got weights. I don't have water bottles, but same as the weights, or you can do it body weight. So you're going to bend at the hips and send your hips back, keeping your spine long. The movement is focusing on drawing the shoulders back, squeezing the shoulder blades together and returning. So inhale to prepare. Exhale to row. Inhale to return. Exhale to row. Inhale to return. So you'll notice I still keep my chest nice and wide as I do this. I'm not closing my shoulders off like this. I want to stay nice and open. Draw back, squeeze. Inhale, return. Now, if you're using weights, literally nothing changes. It's exactly the same movement, only it's weighted. If you're using a band, you might have one leg forward. All right, standing up, roll those shoulders, give yourself a quick break, and then we'll do a second set. So you can choose whichever version you want for this, body weight, small weights, or TheraBand, or water bottles. Inhale to prepare. Exhale to row. Inhale to lower. Exhale to row. Inhale to rower, keeping that chest nice and open. Two more. Last one. Shake your legs out, shake your arms out. Okay. From here, we're going to do some rear delt rows, or hitchhikers as we like to call them, because we use our thumbs up. So we go back into our start position, we send our hips back, and we've got two thumbs up starting. We're going to draw our thumbs up out to the sides, squeezing our shoulder blades together. Inhale, come back together. Exhale, opening. Inhale, come back together. Exhale, opening. Inhale, come back together. Keep that going. So you really want to be trying to get those shoulder blades to engage at the back of you. And this is working through our rear delts, which is the back of our arm, as well as our back muscles. We've got 5 to go. 4, 3, 2, keeping the neck nice and long. Last one. Have a rest. Stand tall, shake your shoulders out. Now for our second round, if you have weights, you are welcome to use your weights. I would definitely choose something lighter than a 3 kilo, so a 1 or a 2 kilo or water bottle's much more sufficient. Or if you have a TheraBand, it's probably a lot more suited for this exercise. So coming in again, we've got our hitchhiker symbol. Inhale to prepare. Exhale. Out to the side. Inhale, come in. So this exercise, the hitchhikers, and also the previous exercise, the bent over rows, they're really good foundational exercises that are safe to do throughout pregnancy. So we're giving them early. They don't need to be complicated to be effective. So this one and the one before, good ones to remember for throughout pregnancy. Let's do another 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Ooh, standing up, shake those shoulders out. You might want to do a cross-body stretch. Or it might even feel really nice now that you've worked the muscles in between your shoulder blades, to do a couple of cat-cows. Broadening the back. Lengthening. Stretch. got one last exercise to do and then we're done for the day. For our last exercise, we're going to work on squatting. If you're not someone who's experienced with squatting, I've got the a chair behind me to help. So the principles of a squat are that we want to sit back through the hips, keep the spine long, and then lower ourselves down. So whether I'm on a chair or not, the movement is exactly the same. So let's break it down and we'll do a couple. I'm using the chair as a prompt. If you're a gym goer and you're really confident with these, by all means go at your own pace. We're going to do 3 sets of 10. If you're new to them, please work with me so that I can step you through each of the phases. And then once we've got the fundamentals of the movement, I'll add in a pelvic floor cue as well. So feet are hip width apart. The first thing I'm going to do is tip at the hips to sit them back. Keep your spine long. Inhale to lower, sitting onto the chair. Exhale, big push up. Tip at the hips. Inhale to lower. Exhale, stand up. Keep that going. Inhale, lower. Exhale to stand. Inhale to lower. Exhale to stand. So you really want to get that tip at the start because that's what offloads our back and trains the strength through our glutes and pelvis. So we obviously want the pelvis to get loose at the later stages of pregnancy because we want that help to allow the baby to pass through the pelvic canal. All right, walk those feet out, have a break. But throughout that phase, we want to keep up our strength and conditioning. So it's really important that we're building strength throughout the legs and the glutes throughout pregnancy, and then we're just tapering off in that 3rd trimester to get a little bit more stretch. Whew. For our second round, we're going to start to incorporate our pelvic floor. So inhale to prepare. Exhale, draw the pelvic floor up. Inhale, lower. Exhale, stand. Do one more. Inhale, lower. Exhale, stand. Relax your pelvic floor. Activate again. Inhale, lower. Exhale, stand. Keep your pelvic floor on. Inhale, lower. Exhale, stand. Relax your pelvic floor. So just as you feel your pelvic floor lift, you want to feel it relax. It's important to feel both. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, draw up through pelvic floor. Inhale, lower. Exhale, stand. Inhale, lower. Exhale, stand. Relax your pelvic floor. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, activate. Inhale to sit. Exhale to stand. Inhale to squat. Exhale to stand. Relax your pelvic floor. On your breath out, draw the pelvic floor up. All right, we're going to do 4 in a row. 4 squats with your pelvic floor on. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep your pelvic floor on. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Relax your pelvic floor. Now on this next one, we're going to try and do a total of 10, keeping the pelvic floor on. And then once you finish your set of 10, relaxing the pelvic floor. Are you ready? Let's give it a go. So inhale to prepare. Exhale, activate. We've got 10 squats. Let's go. Keep the pelvic floor engaged. Two to go. And relax. We're going to do one quick stretch for our glutes. So ankle over the opposite knee. Sit yourself forward. And that way you're stretching through the glute. We're going to hold and swapping sides. You might do a quad stretch. Swap sides. Find your balance. Awesome. That's it for today. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.